Okay, so here's the guy showing our circulatory system. We're gonna first start with the upper extremity. So if you look inside there, if it'll do it, you can see we have the heart here, and then right above it is the aorta. The aorta is going to branch off to the brachiocephalic trunk, and then it's gonna go over into the subclavian artery. And then so we go down, the armpit is the axillary artery. We go down in the brachial here, and that is the brachial artery. And then we go down, and then it branches off into the radial and ulnar. So the radial is going to be the thumb, and the ulnar is going to be the pinky. And then it's going to go down into the palmar arch, which you can see the arch right there, and then we have the digital arteries. And so those are the arteries, and so we also have to have the veins. So if we look back up, we have the superior vena cava coming off the top of the heart, and it goes up. Oh, and I forgot to say too, we have the common carotid artery coming off of the brachiocephalic trunk right here too. And so for the veins, we have the superior vena cava, and then we have the internal jugular vein and the external jugular vein. And then so that breaks off into the brachiocephalic vein from the superior vena cava. Goes through, we have the axillary vein. Then we go down, we have the brachial vein, the radial vein, and the ulnar vein. Radial with the thumb right here on the outside, and the ulnar vein is on the inside with the pinky. And then we go down and we have the palmar arches, palmar venous arches, and then we have the digital veins. Coming off of that, we also have the cephalic vein, which comes from the subclavian vein, and it goes all the way down and kind of connects by the median cubital vein, which the median is right there in the middle, where the ulnar and radial meet. And then the basilic vein is kind of in the middle here of the brachial, and also where the radial and ulnar are. Alright, so that was the upper extremities. Now we're going to look at the lower extremities. So if we look up in the rib cage, we have our heart. Coming off of that is the common iliac artery. So that's the big vein that's coming down right here. And then so right here you see these little protrusions. The red is the artery, so that is going to be our interior iliac vein, or artery, sorry, interior iliac artery. And then out here is going to be our external iliac artery. And so the common iliac artery branches off into those. Then we go down, and by our femur we have our femoral artery. Down by the knee we have our popliteal artery, and then we have our interior and posterior tibal arteries, which the inner one is going to be the anterior. Inner is anterior, and outer is going to be the posterior. Then we go down, and we have our plantar arch, and then we have the digital arteries. Those are going to be the arteries, and for the veins, we look back up. We have the long blue one following the red. So that's going to be our common iliac vein right here. And then it goes down into the internal external iliac veins. So we have the blue protrusion, which is going to be right here. That is going to be our internal iliac vein, and then it runs down, branches off, and we have our external iliac vein. That runs down, we have our femoral vein, down to the knee, our popliteal vein, and then we also have our anterior and posterior tibal veins. So same as before, the inner one is going to be anterior, and so the inner one is our posterior, and the outer one is going to be our anterior. Then we go down, we have our venous, our dorsal venous arch, and then we have our digital veins. And so on the side here, if you look all the way going from the common iliac vein, kind of the external iliac vein, and it goes all the way down to the foot. That is going to be your great saphenous vein. And then if we look up right here, sorry about that, from the popliteal all the way down to the foot, that is going to be the small saphenous vein right there. And that's the foot.